Hello everyone, this is Ether Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. So, there's some construction and things going on in the background. Hopefully you can't hear it, but otherwise let's get started. So currently I have 10 replays this week. It's not Vault of Heaven, of course, so that's pretty typical, I guess. But another typical thing is a lot of people not in Vault don't have super heavily invested units generally, unless it's folks who unfortunately dropped out of Vault or whatnot. I don't know if it's unfortunate. Sometimes it's just a good idea to drop rather than try and stay and get into a worse situation overall. If you're trying to maximize the number of times you get golden chairs or whatnot. But Bramon here, going to check out his Luna, which is not going to be enough to take out Brave Claude, because Luna's scaling is based off of the enemy, so it's not great, and just hit end turn here. But of course, that's part of this week's meme, is if you do that, you have to be able to run away, because otherwise our units can start fleeing themselves in. And here with Deadeye, Crom's able to take out Robin, aka Grima, in one shot, and he does the same to Byleth here. At this point, Blade Session is maxed out. The thing is, if you bait, say, on the left side, Bramon always hits end turn first, so Blade Session is always at least as good as attack speed solo while active, and if another unit acts first, you can get an extra +3 attack and speed, which would be useful if it ever happened when he needed it, but of course in practice that usually doesn't happen. But at this point there's just too many threats to take care of. Not being bonus is definitely helpful for us, just because she's quite a bit tankier. That's pretty much it though. Crom just able to one-shot Claude here. Iote shield is not enough to save Brave Claude here from archers. And, well, Crom just going on a rampage here, picking up yet another kill, and at this point, definitely GG. Nothing Peony can really do here. And here we go with quite an interesting team. You don't see this too often in Ether raids, and that is Xander carry. +10 daggers, super nice. +10 Xander. His refine is pretty decent. It's just that it's just not good enough to last the super long term. It definitely helped him out compared to not having it before, but still have plenty of issues as a unit, especially as a much older unit. They decide to just hit end turn here, and of course we all know that can't possibly be a good idea. Again, Bramon's just going to hit end turn because Crom here has Deadeye and he has 87 attack because we do have drive attack here. Xander's debuffed because of sudden panic, and Flame's caduceus staff does not help out against Deadeye, so it's going to be quite the straightforward one shot for Crom there. And of course everything is going to start steamrolling now. Seliph can go attack Lucina, but Lucina is running a tier 4 stance skill, so Seliph can't proc his Ignis, which would have been nice for him. But Crom can now use Pathfinder to take down Lucina, probably because he couldn't take out Dagger. He's just too slow, I would imagine. And Dagger's heavily debuffed, so I think she was heavily debuffed, so Skinfaxy, she was actually getting buffed. And Ripperonis. And here we have more end turn. I guess that's it is the most used strategy in Ether raids. It's not a surprise, but not as many duo and harmonized heroes as I was expecting this week, just because again, we don't even run duo's hindrance. We haven't built it. We're probably never going to build it at this rate for the memes. And yeah, we'll see. There's plenty of things wrong with this defense, but there's a lot of sneaky shenanigans that aren't sneaky if you know what's going on, but they can be sneaky for sure. And they're just taking their time, not entirely sure what they're going for here, but Bramon just going to be content hitting end turn. Of course, one thing wrong with this defense is the 7th unit is Bramon, who's basically in the corner. You could reasonably take out Crom and just corner Bramon if you really want to, but that does involve having a lot of kill power everywhere else, which is feasible, but it's not the most reliable thing. But here, they do make a pretty solid play. They attack with Freya, and she comes with Pulse Smoke, so Crom, of course, is no way in heck's going to be able to take out Freya without Deadeye. And with Luna, she's able to pick up the 1-round KO pretty handily there. Unfortunately, Brave Dimitri here is going to be in for some shenanigans, of course. Does take a good chunk of damage from Celis Ignis, but he does heal quite a bit of it back. And unfortunately, the shenanigans are not actually for Dimitri. It's for Peony because she's out there. But now we have Bramamond with Luna ready to attack Henriette and do quite a bit of damage because she does have a good solid res stat for Ether Raids, and well, unfortunately the healing is not quite enough for Henriette, and she's going to get 1-round KO'd here. Now this is before I got impact on Bramamon, I believe. Yeah, this is before I got impact on Bramamon, so yeah, not great there. Not here is going to proc Luna, but of course she's getting outsped by Freya, so not able to kill because of the damage reduction from Nightmare Horn, and that's a rip to Not. Rip to Bramamon as well because he's just too slow. But unfortunately for them, it's just not a favorable matchup. They've already lost 2 units or so ripperonis. And here we have more interesting teams. This week, people brought their catapults on offense on column 3. Not entirely sure why, but you know, it kind of wrecks our healing tower. Not that our healing tower really matters too much. It does in this case allow them to retain bolt tower damage if they so choose. But good old shenanigans. They decide to hit end turn with Micaiah here because of course with her Thani refined she can be quite solid. But at this point we do have sturdy impact on Bramamon now. And Bramamon's going to do quite a bit to Micaiah, and she's unable to double. But she wasn't even going to be proccing her special anyways, so she wasn't going to be killing. And because of that, Bramamon can just get danced and attack yet again to pick up the kill. And then of course, Pathfinder shenanigans. Crom can just absolutely overkill Eliwood. Deadeye is a really awkward skill, but in Ether Raids of HP inflation, it's fine. You're doing just that it always feels wasted when you're murdering units for over twice their health. That's or even almost sometimes 3 times their health. Like it can get pretty overkill at times, but you gotta do it because of the disabling non-special skills that reduce that, well, grant damage reduction, to put it simply, besides shield pulse, I guess. Here we go with this team. Another column 3 catapult. I have no idea what this column 3 catapult meta is. Never seen it before in vaults. Not entirely sure. What would people put in column 3? I guess they're trying to go for a healing tower like me? I don't know. Because you wouldn't really care. I don't think you would really see shrines, and it's probably trying to snipe down a healing tower or something. Usually healing towers will be on the far left or far right or something. But I don't know. The other decides to use Brave Edelgard to take out Bramond. But of course, we all know that's a small problem because Edelgard is still an armored unit, so with Deadeye, Crom can just absolutely overkill Brave Edelgard. And I'm too slow to do the calcs there, but I believe she was running noontime. She might have even still gone one round KO through noontime there. Would have to verify. It's pretty close. But thanks to Pathfinder shenanigans, Seliph gets to charge into Milla. And this, for once, he actually has enough attack to just kill. He doesn't need his special here. That's also kind of just a problem with Milla not having a ton of HP. Her bulk can be pretty darn solid. Like, she can get in the 60s and 70s and even 80s in res and defense if you want. But she just does not have a lot of HP, which definitely is a problem. And we have this team here. Slightly more decked out team from the looks of it. Got ourselves a +10 female Chris. I imagine Spear of Shadow and what is it, Blade of Shadow on male Chris or whatever. They're going to get refines eventually. Not entirely sure what they're going to get. I guess Slaying would be okay. But of course, the classic run back, Bramon hitting end turn. And well, Crom gets to use Deadeye on Henriette. Far save is not going to help out there. Being red and being an armor against Crom without any way to neutralize the armor weakness is kind of a small problem. Here, Chris is unable to double knots, but she does survive. But unfortunately, Bramamon is here, and he does again have sturdy impact, so he gets 3 extra points of defense on his player phase for 1 less attack, but he also gets the follow-up denial player phase shenanigans of impact, which is why I have it on him. I imagine it'll be useful eventually. It's just, I mean, it already has been useful, but it just, the problem with sturdy impact Bramon, I abuse this a lot too on offense. When I run into sturdy impact Bramons, he just does not have defense, as much defense enemy phase as attack defense push 4. So it's easier for my, say, Air or Kaden or even Milla to do a good chunk of damage to him that way, just by meleeing him when it's applicable. And we have this team here, pretty decent HP Seliph, exact same HP as my Seliph here. And all unmerged here except for this +10 little standard Divine Tearfing null follow-up Seliph, but is running kind of an interesting build. Looks like more of a defensive set, intended to just hit end turn, pick up kills where he can, and basically chip away at the enemies slowly but surely, because there's absolutely no attack investment into this kid. He's running Soul for healing rather than some offensive special to do some damage. More damage, I should say. Here they got the Bolt Tower off, and they have Lara Shell take out Bramamon. And of course, because of Far Trace, you can just walk out up to 2 spaces. And they decided to just hit end turn here, which of course, if we've already seen the first bit here, not a good idea to just sit in place. And Seliph here is going to get murdered by Deadeye. Just a solid special on Aetherid's defense when you can do damage. That's the big one. When you can do damage, I guess. Because we've seen in previous replays where we've had, like, what is it? 70, 80 defense, like Brave Hectors or whatever. And Crom just, like, does nothing, basically. Because that's too much defense for Crom to deal with. you can only get so much attack on defense. We do have the 2 Bramamons for +6 attack, and of course now this Bramamon's also +9, so he's almost there, but yeah, at least this defense can check out some damage. I believe this is the next replay here. We got ourselves a Brave Hector and Company, 79 HP. So much HP. Yeah, you definitely need it as a tank. It is even only +1, so you could definitely get into the 80s in HP, of course, with quad mythic shenanigans. And flame support, you can be quite threatening. Of course, we always have to contend with the meme himself, Crom. Always a problem. There's, if you don't deal with Crom correctly, you can definitely check out a ton of damage, because even if you say bait Seliph from 2 tiles to the left of Brave Hector right now, in a lot of instances, Crom can actually still get an attack off on that spot because of the change fate. But here, Crom is, well, unfortunately, 1 attack shy of one-shotting Brave Hector. But he's done his damage. Literally all but 1 of Brave Hector's health, and so Not can just clean up here with Luna. Flame's damage reduction will not be enough to save Brave Hector there, but yeah, Crom did his job. If Blade Session was maxed out there at +9 attack and speed, he would have picked up the 1 shot, but yeah, that's kind of why you need Deadeye in those instances, because otherwise we would only dent like half his health. But we wouldn't even dent half his health because there's Flame's damage reduction, so... And then he heals off of Mystic Boost, so it definitely is pretty important for us to be able to double our damage like that. Otherwise, matches like these would have much different outcomes. And of course, Flame on offense, you see it every now and then. I'm surprised I don't see it more. I guess she's not always available to summon for, but she is on the rerun banner right now, I guess. So that's the thing. I tried going for Flame off of the free summon, the 5 free summons in total. Didn't get her. Pretty much expected. You'll only pick up 3 5-stars every now and then. It's not 3 5-stars literally every summon. That would be ridiculous. But stuff happens eventually if you summon enough times. Here we have Duo Thune and Brave Hector here. And here they're just going to bait out Seliph, which of course is going to happen here. And Hector can just proc Ether, heal off the 2 points of damage Seliph did. And Sylvia is going to dance here. Not's got Luna here to do quite a bit to Hector. That's why we run Luna over something like, I guess she couldn't charge Dragon Fang, but like, I don't know, Draconic Aura or whatnot. The Change Fate goes off, and Crom, with maxed out Blade Session here, is able to pick up the kill on Brave Hector. And so he can just go on a rampage here and take out Duo Thune as well. They didn't use their duo skills, so the armored effectiveness and weapon triangle helps Crom out quite a bit. At this point, they do get the bolt tower damage and whatnot. They also pick up the kill on Crom here, barely with Dagger. Crom's just never bulky enough. He definitely has more defense than res, that's for sure. It's just that that's pretty much it. Unfortunately for us, Nils just can't do anything there, and Bramamon actually just moves straight down rather than down and right because, well, AI shenanigans. And so Sylvia doesn't actually get to dance that Bramamon. He would have definitely done quite a bit of damage to Dagger, if not just 1 shot outright, which I'm pretty certain he probably could. Because this guy, the unmerged Bramamon, does easily pick up the 1 shot, so I would imagine, we could have gotten that kill But it doesn't matter at this point. We've already gotten 2 kills here. And now they're just cleaning up because, of course, this is towards the end of the season. So if you don't have any ladders left or anything, well, you just got to take what you get. Which is all of our matches in a nutshell. Because we don't use ladder. And it's definitely can be pretty tricky during some seasons. Last but not least, we have this team. Now we're finally starting to see some duo heroes and whatnot. See the popular 6-column or column 6 catapult to deal with frequently place structures all the way on the far right. Pretty common in a lot of layouts, so that's why it's a popular choice to plop your catapult there. It looks like they're just getting set up here. Dual Linen Company readying themselves up to go in because, of course, the most convenient place to go in is, of course, just take out Bramamond because he's kind of just sitting there. He's got Luna, so I guess hypothetically. Honestly, between Luna and Glimmer's just straight up better, I think, if I'm going to have him end turn like that. But, I mean, there's plenty of things that we're goofballing on. Here they gamble on the trap placement, Kappa. And Freya, even though she's adjacent to units, she is running Wings of Mercy, so that means she can pull off those kind of shenanigans. But yeah, it wasn't actually a gamble because they already activated the bolt trap before, so there's nothing to worry about there. They also got the pulse smoke off, which is nice. And we just get Chrom staying in place because Tactics Room being Tactics Room. So Bramamond can clean up here. And Gil, Roy and Nils doing their thing. Roy against Nils. So they just keep chaining Wings of Mercy and whatnot. Just pretty good placement so far. But of course, Chrom is still sitting around. But they do have their duo skill. And since they are below 100% HP, Chrom cannot neutralize the defense penalty. And so that means they can just pick up a kill on Chrom there, which is pretty typical. He does not have a super high HP stat, which is always a problem. So now at this point, the problem is Seliph exists, and their best option here, of course, is to use no follow-up on Dagger, but doesn't work because she just gets one shot there, and Seliph still exists, and he's running Deflect Missile because, of course, Dual Lin would still do quite a ton of damage to him. You can see here there's, you know, double drive attack. There's also Flower of Joy, so she could get, what is that, 78 attack, and then she also debuffs by 4, so you can see how she can definitely do a ton of damage to Seliph if you don't run Deflect Missile. So unfortunately for them, they're not able to kill Seliph with any of their units, and that means that they would probably set up Vantage, and that's even worse. I imagine Freya could maybe survive a hit, maybe. Actually, probably not, let's be real. Probably with the damage reduction, yeah. But not 2 hits, I don't think she can survive 2 hits. But with that, that is this season. Almost all successes. It was just this one rematch here where they had we got the 3 kills, so of course we still would have lost 0 lift there, but not a full complete list of successes. Not the end of the world. We're just goofballing. At least my dark defense nowadays is okay. I definitely like it. I'm not giving the extra plus 5 HP and plus 5 defenses. There's Pathfinder, of course. Pathfinder is good, but I don't think it can be understated just how important that extra plus 5 HP in defense is. It doesn't show itself up in a lot of these matches, but it kind of forces people to do specific other plays because maybe one of their units can't pick up a 1-round KO on self anymore because of that extra HP or whatever. Because that is a good chunk of HP, you know, if you look at it. 72 HP. His bulk isn't the most amazing bulk in the world. He only has 32 res, of course, but he can have generally 52 defense. And, you know, it's just useful. Crom having an extra 5 HP in defense is pretty solid as well. Maybe someday I should run Sturdy Impact Ignis on him for the memes, but I don't think I can charge up turn 1 Ignis without running Quick Impulse Seal. So, yeah, we're not going to worry about that. That would just be for goofballing again. But here, looks like in Resonant Battles, we've actually, yeah, we have not. We're still 3 ranks away from making it back up to Interval 20. This is because, of course, there are, I believe, 3 Harmonized Heroes and 3 of the more popular Harmonized Heroes. I think there's Mia, Altina, and I think Dorothea, right? Because of Lean. So, unfortunately, for the first time in quite a long time, we, as free-to-play players here with no Harmonized Heroes, we are going down to Interval 18, which sucks, but not the end of the world. It was bound to happen eventually, but it's unfortunate. There's a lot of people who had 1 Harmonized Hero, I think, got kicked out of Interval 20, so that's why it happened. Here in Arena, we had to fish a decent chunk. Actually fished into a ton of Fire Emblem Heroes Twitch streamers and YouTube content creators during the way, so that was interesting. Quite, like, straight up rolled into over a dozen of them, so yeah, strange arena run this week, but next week will be easier because this team currently scores 746 to 760, but it's literally on the cusp of scoring 748 to 762. All I would need to do to boost my scoring would be to, like, give a dual rally plus or something, and that would do it, but I figured I didn't need it, and turns out I was right. But next week it is going to, I believe, still be water season, but it's also going to be Astra Anima, and we just plus 10 Plumeria. We can use her. We also have Duma. We also have Lift. So we have options if we want to not use Sheena and Effie here. They're mostly just walking around the map, but straight up running Armor March on Effie because they're just walking around doing their thing. Just occasionally buffing Crom or Byleth. It wasn't too difficult this week. It was only 1 mishap from a mistap, but we actually managed to recover thanks to daily damage calcs. But anyways, enough rambling. Arena Assault. Back in the day, this would be enough to be close to, like, top 50, if not be in top 50. The latter, not so much. Mostly, like, floating around, you know, at least top 100, but nowadays things are much more competitive now that we have much higher scoring water legendary heroes and earth legendary heroes that pack a punch. So nowadays at the very top we got ourselves the usual shenanigans of 5,366. I remember when top 50 used to be like 5,350. Yeah, it's just like basically you +2 to every match is essentially what's happened. And that kind of makes sense given the max scoring has since way back when is increased by 2, so it's kind of logical, but at the same time it's just ridiculous. We can't keep up with that because we still need to +10 a water or fire legendary hero. That's not happening anytime soon. And then after that we would need to start actually getting the second +10 earth and then the second +10 fire wind legend. It's gonna take forever. But until then, it's enough rambling for now. We'll be back when the results drop in. Alright, so we're head back up to a vault. We'll see if we can stay. We have the scoring to more consistently do it if we do well on offense. Crom is bonus, it is water season, so I feel like we have an okay chance. Zero's being bonus though, the plus 10 HP with the damage reduction is basically not all over again, except there's not Pathfinder during Astra and Anima unless you want to use Knot or Dagger, which is totally a thing. But for next week, this is not the final layout. We just have something up temporarily here. The problem is, Crom here on defense, while bonus is going to have base 57 HP, and Olivia has base 56. So if I want her to actually infantry pulse legendary Crom so I can run quick and pulse seal on him to get turn 1 Deadeye for the memes, have to give her 10 dragon flowers, 10 more dragon flowers, and I kind of don't feel like doing that. And I kind of forgot during stream when I plus tender that I wanted to switch to plus HP. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do. Probably just going to goofball, just leave Deadeye at 2 cooldown. It'll be fine. We're not particularly trying to do anything crazy with this defense. It's just going to be a mythic plonking defense because we have 20 merges of mythics, so we can only at most lose a 40 lift, and I do expect we could potentially get maybe 1 kill during one match where we lose lift this week, so we'll see. I have to change the layout. Not sure if we're gonna keep Shamir on the defense. Oops. We could put in like legendary Byleth, of course, because he has Sublime Heaven, but just doesn't feel like he's going to do that much damage, which is basically all we can really do with this kind of a team, so not sure what we're going to be doing there. But in Resonant Battles, pretty certain, yep, we did drop to interval 18 by a tiny margin. Unfortunate, but that's how things go sometimes. Nothing we can really do about it at this point. Arena, we should be staying, and I do expect to stay again for 1 more week, because we have options to score better this week. And Arena Assault, good old top 1k. Should be able to do top 1k again next week. But yeah, for this week in Arena, let's change the defense real quick. We can literally just kick out everyone here. We could put in Plumeria for a dancer. I think we'll just put in Plumeria. And do we want Duma or Lif? I think we'll do Duma. That way tactics can work, I guess. That would be fine. Something along those lines. We have plenty of options for arena scoring. I can't find Byleth because I'm blind. There we go. But yep. Should be pretty comfortable in arena because we can even use a dancer if we want to. But as I found this week, we didn't really need to actually use a dancer, so because the change fate is literally all you need in terms of assist, because just being able to hit and run is super nice in arena, and you can achieve that in multiple ways, but the change fate is just super solid. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, this is Ether Dragon, and hope to see you all next time. Bye.